Peace, y'all, and all that good stuff. I am your host, Bird Nefertiti. Welcome back to Carolina's Finest. Again, I'm so glad you came back because we need y'all. So we are with a very, very special lady today. Our first lady guest. She is a phenomenal writer and has won awards for her writing. Please welcome Miss Lavinia. Hey, y'all.
Welcome.
She's so poised. She's so poised. Okay, so before we get into the meme and all the good stuff, y'all, we have another special guest today. I have a guest co-host with me today. Please welcome to the camera, Sir Lampkin.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Tell them how you feeling today.
I'm feeling pretty amazing. It's my first day, and I'm glad to interview you. So let's get started.
Yes, he's here, y'all. He's here, sis. And now we got male and female and male perspective on the show, y'all.
We had to do it.
Yeah, we had to balance.
So enjoy, guys.
Balance, man. Peace. Okay, so y'all ready for these memes?
Yeah.
All right, so the first meme says, sometimes you have to hit no receipt at the ATM because you don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
Amen.
Wow. Wow.
Lavinia, how do you feel about that meme?
First of all, I don't ever take the receipts because I'm trying to be like eco-conscious.
Yeah.
like it's a waste of paper.
Yeah.
But not for those reasons. Like, it's not negative. Like, that's weird to me.
She got money.
I definitely get in that situation.
Because I definitely don't get them receipts. I mean, I do think it's a waste of paper, but I'm just like, you know what? Who needs to see my account with less than what I'm taking now right now? I'll just look at it on the computer when I need to, when my back's against the wall.
Right.
But as of right now, I'm good. What about you?
I think sometimes it's depressing, depending on what stage of my life I'm going through. But it's also motivation as well, because it's like, yo, I'm about to get my money up. So, look at the receipts. Well, okay, well, I'm doing okay. I could have been broke. Could be in a negative. Overdraft sucks.
Good.
Overdraft does suck. But do you keep them?
No, I don't keep. I throw them away.
Okay. Okay, so you don't really keep the negativity. You sort of look at it and then you go, poof, be gone.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so.
Positive thing.
Okay, meme number 2. So it says, little did I know something bigger was happening.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, it is kind of related to the other one. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, little did I know something bigger was happening. Like, right.
Even though the count was low today, God had me on the next go round.
Absolutely. I mean, you and I, again, we're having these serendipitous moments. I started public speaking at age 4, like most of us do, in the church.
Right.
With the little short poems, Easter, Christmas.
Yeah.
Right.
Special occasions.
Right. So it evolved from there because I was a very sickly child. I had a kidney condition that was simply fixable, but we didn't get it fixed for a long time. So what happened was they thought I couldn't do a lot of sports, even though I wanted to because I had this condition. They were afraid. They didn't want me to run. They didn't want me to do this, but they wanted me to do something. So my grandmother said, well, you're going to speak. I said, oh, okay. So we made props. And I would go around to different churches in several different counties reciting poetry. One mine.
Wow.
And at one point, I think I was 10 when I commanded an audience of over 5,000 people with one poem. And I messed it up, and then I laughed. Everybody laughed. But the lady, she requested that I do this one poem, and from there, like you, I went on to like 4-H contests and really getting into my own work, not knowing that was going to take me to the book. I didn't think about being a published author in high school. Not really. And I was just like, I just wanted to write my poems and stuff. So, yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from.
That's beautiful. And that's also a beautiful transition into us learning more about you. So you say you didn't think about being a published author in high school. So when in your journey did you know that poetry and writing was your avenue?
It was actually when my grandmother transitioned. She died of breast cancer in 1987. And my music teacher, Love Kathy Hughes, told me to go get catered. And she called me every day until I went to the bookstore and got it. She goes, you have to read this book. And you were coming back to school. It was one of those times when everybody thought I wasn't going to go back to high school. They thought I wasn't going to go to a funeral or hold 9, because my grandmother and I were very, very close. And so I read Cage Bird. Now, mind you, in 8th grade, I had, like you, had been published in, we had a literary magazine at my high school. So I was published in like 8th grade. I was like, whoopee. Okay, I wrote a poem. You know, like, you know, it's a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay. But I read Cage Bird. That changed my life. It was then that I knew that writing was absolutely what I wanted to do. I didn't know where, how, what, but whatever I thought I was going to major in was out the door.
Right.
I was going to be a writer. Like, I wanted to be Maya Angelou. Like, I wanted to meet her. I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be that voice.
Right.
And so I just kept writing and kept writing and kept writing and sent off for poetry awards in high school and got a couple. And then I applied to 3 colleges, 2 of which that did not have a creative writing program and 1 that did. And the one that did, I went to. And so it was at that point I was like, I don't care.
Right. So what was your writing experience in college? Can you tell us about your college experience and how that pushed you to where you are today?
My first writing class was one of those intro to creative writing classes. And I will never forget her. She is a now 2 or 3 time award-winning published writer. Her name is Leah Purpura, and her last name is Purple in Italian, and I was happy.
That is beautiful.
Right. So I got in her class, and she was relaxed, and I was like, "Yo, you're not all uptight." She was like, "No, you just come and you kind of write," and she told me that my writing was beautiful. And I was like, "Yay, that's awesome!" So I was sort of free to write in my own blackness. I went to a PWI. I don't know what the HBCU experience is like to be able to write in your own blackness, but I fought to write in my own blackness. And so she gave me that freedom. Now, during that matriculation, I had the same professor 3 times. She was in the poetry department, and she gave me the same grade for 3 semesters because she didn't read my work. Right, I was one of 2 black people in the creative writing department. You know, we graduated at the same time. We're still good friends to this day. She was the one who told me that I would never get an MFA and never go on to have a book. She shut me down.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
The devil's a liar.
Right. Right. So I got up from under her, got with somebody else. He edited some of my work, helped me work through it. My final portfolio, which is parts of which are published in the book. And he was like, "Don't let her discourage you." But it hurts. It hurts in a different way. Now mind you, I met with Cornel West, and he tried to recruit me to come work with him. Right.
That's nice.
Yeah, I met with Kevin Powell. Got him to, so all the people that you think of now, I met with them. They understood who I was. I said, no, I want to stay here. And it had a lot to do with the fact that this woman discouraged me, completely. So I really didn't get back up on stage, do open mics. I really didn't do any of that. I was writing. After I graduated, I was writing, and I would submit here and submit there. But I didn't really, really get back into poetry until I moved here, publicly, until I moved to Greensboro, not music.
Peace, y'all, and welcome back to Carolina's Finest. We are still here with Lavinia, and she's sharing with us her beautiful story. And we also have Sir Lampkin here, y'all. Give him a round of applause from where you are, because he out here. He riding with me. So, the next segment that we're about to do is fairly new, and it's, what's happening now. And I'm going to actually throw it to Sir Lampkin because he has the scoop on what's happening.
All right, guys. Well, if you don't know, Colin Kaepernick, he's a ex-San Francisco 49er quarterback, and he took a political stance against police brutality and pretty much saying, I'm going to take a knee during the national anthem until things change. And so now this year, he's out on a job, and people are spectating that he's being blackballed by not the government, but they're like the government, the NFL, the No Fun League, and pretty much people that have assault on their record, murder, rape, and thieving, charge, assault. They're getting jobs, and Colin Kaepernick isn't. So my question to y'all is, do y'all feel like he's getting blackballed?
You want to?
Most definitely. I'm sorry.
Take it away.
Most definitely. If you look at his stats, which I didn't find out until I read Twitter, because I found a lot of this on Twitter. So, and that's the wonderful thing about Black Twitter. Ooh, they keep you up on some stuff, right? But anyway, his stats alone should have landed him in a job, regardless of whether he was playing the free agent or not really like in a contract. Regardless, his stats, his performance, although they may not have been like wonderful, he's not fourth string. There is no reason for him to be in this position other than he's a quote unquote distraction. And you found again on Twitter that people were finding all kinds of reasons to justify why no one wants to pick him up. Even the teams that are at the bottom of the division
and don't have a quarterback
would not pick him up. So that has nothing to do with his performance. They are literally worried about the dollars that he will not bring in.
I think it might be a little bit deeper than that. I agree that they are just, afraid of him being a distraction, but I may be wrong. I haven't fact checked this for sure, but I feel like the people who own these NFL teams, right, are great grandchildren well, maybe not that many greats, but grandchildren of slave owners. Am I tripping?
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that racist mentality has been passed down to them. It's been passed down to them to the point where they see this black person who they pretty much see as a slave under different names. This is a Mandingo fighter in a sense. If we're talking historically, and they see him taking a stand for people, they don't like that. That pisses them off because you're supposed to stay in your place. You're supposed to throw that ball or catch that ball and sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? And because he's taking a stand against his people, it's a problem. And I think that is the reason why he's absolutely being blackballed, but it's because he took a stand and he went against the grain. He didn't keep his mouth shut like a good old boy. He actually went against the grain, and that's a problem. And I hope, he don't end up being like old boy at the ATM.
Nah, I don't think that. I think what makes it worse, the thing about this whole situation is we're talking about if he's gonna be a distraction, if he's gonna lose weight for the owners, if he's being blackballed. We're not actually talking about what he stood for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And nothing has changed. Cops are still getting off. Things are still happening. Trump is still in office doing what Trump does. I don't have to explain that. And I feel like that certain teams that pick him up, they're making excuses. He could be a first-string quarterback.
Right.
He threw 16 touchdowns last year, only 4 interceptions, and he didn't even start at first in the beginning of the season because of that distraction. And then I don't know if you heard of Michael Vick or whatever.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He told him, he dogfighting and stuff like that. So he went on, I think it was ESPN or whatever, and he was just like, I think he just needs to cut his hair, cut the afro off, be a more presentable look. And
Michael Vick.
And I'm like, Michael Vick, you're a convicted felon. I love you. You're my favorite player. You know what I'm saying? But you're a convicted felon. Okay, you went to jail for a year. Okay, Colin Kaepernick didn't commit no crimes.
My dude took a knee. He took a knee.
Right.
That was his knee to sit on.
So
personally, I'm proud of the fact that someone with that large of a platform was not afraid to do that. And I'm glad he still has his life, because we know political leaders in the past that would have done things like that. Their lives were taken. And I'm just proud to know that there are people that are actually doing that for us.
But remember that he took a calculated risk.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that he had been in conversations and been in circles where this was, whether we were able to see it or not, this was because he was doing good work and he was serving our community anyway.
Yeah, it was.
So it's not far out of character, and he understood the risk. So I want to say, I'm gonna want to bet my last dollar that he's got things invested and tied up so that his money run long.
Yeah.
So
so
that if he doesn't get the contract the way that it comes out, that he's still going to come out way on top in ways that they weren't anticipating. I'll put it that way.
So, Lavinia, can you please tell us about current projects and things that you have been working on, and things you're working on now, and how we can see you and all that great stuff?
I guess the most current thing, or the most recurrent thing, is my book. It's Poetry in Plain Sight. It was published 2 years ago. If you haven't heard the spiel, it took me 25 years to write it and 34 days to get it published. So, I tell people to hold on to their dreams. This was one of my dreams. And you never know how quickly it'll manifest.
Amen.
So, yeah. So this is one thing that I've been working on. I'm working on book 2. It's slow. I also have a spoken word CD that I'm working on. I've recorded all the tracks. I just gotta wait. I gotta get with my producer, who's Draz, here locally, and hopefully it'll drop around Christmas. That's the projection. So that'll be like new work that's not in the book, and purposefully. And I'm also working on poetry boxes.
What's that?
Well, it all started like last year when I was recruited to work on the Visual Poetry Walk, which was a collaboration between the Writers Guild of the Triad and myself. And we got some artists and we got some poets together. We did a blind call and we paired them together, and we had different spaces, businesses downtown where folks could literally walk and see what the artist came up with based on the poem. It had to be a box. That was the only requirement. Right. So it was a really neat thing. There's a Facebook page called Visual Poetry Walk, and it's also on Instagram if you want to go look and see what we did. And then
with B-Rock?
Yeah. I'll get to the one we did with B-Rock. So what I did was I couldn't let go of that. I thought it was an amazing thing, but also I wanted to be more diverse. So when I was the artist residence at Revolution Mill, I made that part of my residency, was to get together artists, specifically Black artists and Black poets, to create these poetry boxes. And I got the boxes, and they are about the size of this table.
It's pretty dope, man.
And the box is my artists were Aaron. He's been here to do live art. Aaron Hamlin, Ron Williams from over in Winston-Salem, and Carlos Parks, who's been here to do has been live artist here. And B-Rock, the one you're talking about, was B-Rock and Carlos who worked on this box, and they went back and forth. And Carlos did this amazing box, and when you opened it, the poem was inside.
It was real dope.
Yeah, right.
So was the painting on the outside?
Yeah,
it's like a whole painting on the outside.
The painting was on the outside, and then you opened it up, and B-Rock's poem, I Want My Queen, that was part of his, that was the one that he did, and he did it, we unveiled it at my event called Pen and Sip, which happens just about every other month, where we have a DJ, we have libations or something to drink, have a little light food. We always have at least 2 or 3 poets, and we have music. And we've added art, where my friend Gloria, she's an art teacher. She comes in and she teaches folks she guides them. So it's like free creativity for a couple of hours. You just on a Saturday. So it's a great sort of healing space because part of it is that I believe everybody can be a poet. They just don't know it. So lots of times people hear their inner voices or just have a space to relax to be able to say, I didn't know I could do that. Or right. So that's what it does. So that's another thing that I'm working on. So
that's awesome, Lavinia. Peace, y'all. We are back at Carolina's Finest. I'm so glad y'all made it this long. Y'all are troopers, man. Loyalty, that's what we need in this world. And we're still here with Lavinia and Sir Lampkin and myself, Bird Nefertiti. So how can we find you on social media in this world?
Okay, well,
here in the streets?
If you're on social media, there's Poetry Box, there's also Penmanship, and then there's my page, which is just Lavinia Jackson. I have 3 separate pages. They focus on 3 different things. If you're on Instagram, then it's Lavinia_poet. That's the same thing with Google+. If you're on Twitter, then it's Hop Into Light. That's a whole other story about how I came up with it.
But I mean, that sounds great.
Yes, yeah.
We all need some light.
Yeah, so Hop Into Light. So, and I'm usually here. I come here a couple of times a month.
The artist block is the here that she's referring to.
The artist block. And wherever folks tend to call me. So, like, if people want me to come and talk, then I'll come and talk. I know that I'm doing a keynote at the Healing Wheel Retreat in the end of August.
Turn up.
Yeah, so I'll be, talking then. There's a possibility for me to return to Chicago Labor Day weekend because I'm a nominee for a community service award.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
she out here, y'all, doing big things.
So I'm working to do things in the community. So that's how you can reach me. And I post. Sometimes I post new poems on my Lavinia Jackson page. So if you want to see more newer work, that's probably where you'll catch it. And then I and that's about it.
That's cool. So more about the book.
Okay. No, go ahead. No, because I want to know more as well.
What is your biggest influence for this book? Like, you said it took you 25 years. So how many things that you came across to help you write these poems?
Wow. On the front cover is the Balboa tree, which is the tree of life. I selected it on purpose, and you can't tell whether it's a sunrise or a sunset. So yeah, there's a whole lot of subliminal messages right there. My biggest influences early on would be Maya Angelou, because of Cage Bird. Then I discovered Audre Lorde. I discovered Edwin Dodgecott. You can go back to County Cullen. You can go back to Langston Hughes.
I just like the way she says her L's and her H's. Go ahead.
Including some of my contemporaries. Like, I'm friends with a lot of poets who write a lot of dope stuff. So I love to see, I love to read Keisha, I love to read R.L., I'll read Bird, I'll read whomever. Like, I will read your work and be like, that word, how did you, I need to rewind. How do you do that? Like, because I don't think like that. I love to hear like Moody, so Miss Moody Black is one of my good friends down in South Carolina. I love to go to Slam. Because what people can do in 3 minutes is amazing to me. Like, I don't know how they come up with it's
Slam
right.
is a whole nother animal.
Right. So
not my animal, but
right.
It's an animal.
It's not my animal. And then I'll go to some little coffee shop or go to Stubborn House, whatever, and pick up something and be like, wow. So that was part of it. There are things in here like I have from college Like the story that's in here is from college, like from freshman year of college, to things that I wrote during the 30-30 challenge, which is National Poetry Month. You're supposed to write 30 poems in 30 days. And so that was part of the challenge to get the book finished, was using the 30-30 challenge. Right. Because I needed more material because I didn't have enough. And so, yeah. So there's different chapters. I don't know. The thing about my poetry, wow.
Take your time.
The thing about my poetry that I struggle with as a writer is the label academic. Because I got labeled that when I first came here because I had creative writing. And folks pigeonhole you, especially about your craft. It's it creates anxiety. It created anxiety for me because I literally think in poetry, like the similes and the metaphors. I don't know how that works. I just know that that's how it flows.
Natural.
Right, it's natural for me. And so that, if I use alliteration, if it falls on a certain beat, if I'm counting syllables, like I'm doing things that are very literary. And so when you go out and you share a poem that's 30 seconds, like literally, but you know that you worked for 3 years to get them to and to be dismissed. So part of this was to validate myself that I was okay in the gift that I was given, the way that I was given, with the skill set that I was given,
and the training,
that I am okay, that I don't need slam, that I don't need an open mic, that it's okay for me to pursue and want the MFA. It's okay for me. I'm black enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a very, writing is a very not so colorful world. It's very, there's not a lot of spaces for our voices. And when you go into those spaces, whether it's Pan America or, poets and writers or wherever, the places that give you as a poet the validity, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So I needed this. I needed it because I needed not only my peers who do open mics and host to take me seriously, but I needed the other audiences to take me seriously. That I was published, that I was crafted, that it's not just some timey hobby that, is never gonna make me any money. Like this is something, it's
a part of you.
It's me. It's me. It's me. So that's what the book was about.
That will be there forever, even when you're gone.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I made sure that I registered it with the Library of Congress. Like I'm not playing. I'm definitely not playing with making sure that, again, that's legacy. So my great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren and whomever else in my lineage can make sure that when they go, if there is a Google, but go look me up, that this is what they see. They have this and they can say, she wrote that a long time ago, but it's timeless. Because there are pieces in here that I know that are timeless. Period. I want to, Maya Angelou my way through life. For real. Go through Trips and Childs, write down what I say, boom.
All right, y'all. We are going to be back, take a short break, and you'll get to see Miss Lavinia Jackson perform. Peace.
That was good.
Welcome back to Carolina's Finest. We are here with Sir Lampion and Lavinia, and she is going to perform or to read one of her pieces from her book. And do you have any words for her, Mr. Lampion? Sir Lampion?
Just bless the audience with your presence, with your words. I just know it's going to be magical, and I appreciate you for coming up here and,
Anytime.
having the confidence to do this for us.
Anytime.
All that good stuff. Y'all give her a round of applause from where you are. Okay, we gonna go now.
This piece is called Artist Warrior. It is in Poetry in Plain Sight. Subtitle Biography Revisited. When I read, words weigh with ink, and I heave them across my mind until my eyes feel like biceps after too many push-ups. And still, I read. I read, perusing every used shelf and every library as if my life depends on it. Because wealth is in the pages and not the currency exchanged. And still, I read. I read so that when I speak, all you hear is the beauty of the journey, crammed in between irregular fonts and dead purple pens. You know, the stuff of real writers. And still, I read. I read, selectively inspired, perspiring purpose in places you'd rather not be, in order that poetry does more than decorate a coffee table or sit disgust in an ivory tower. And still, I read. I write. When the words explode beyond the reach of my fingertips and my conscience creaks from the rapture of expression, I write to dispel the disparity between image and authenticity. My words are a greater window into my soul than my eyes will ever be. I write my voice. Etched in a collection of rarely shared notebooks stacked neatly on my shelves, waiting for the gentle caress of new fingertips. Will you read? Thank you.
You do that.
Thank you, Lavinia. That was so awesome.
That was amazing.
It was so inspiring for me as a poet. Okay, y'all. All right. So thank you for coming on the show. So thank you so much. So catch us next week. Don't forget, before we go, I gotta leave y'all with something. You may not know that what you're working on or what's going on in your life or what you're doing, you may not know that it's gonna turn into something bigger. You may not know that this hobby that you have or this thing that you do that you cannot get away from, you may not know that it is bigger, that it is your purpose, that it is your passion, and that is the reason why you're on this planet. So even when it seems small, don't give up, because you never know what the Creator has for you. Peace, y'all, and see you next week.
Amen.
I should.